jet lets. Yo.
I hope she'd never leave me, but believe me, I saw the warning signs like a crystal ball hit a wall, sins absorb. Fools, lost before the fall, congratulations, Jean Paul, your Annie Hall's already involved. My ear piss, read my lips, she exists only for me to kiss. Blessed bliss, dreams of Genesis, ingesting ecstasy in Eden, my only exit's an exodus. Beneath semantics, guess men are the real romantics. Never forget, forever respect and reflect on all our regrets, till it's all we've got left. Hold my breath, sow the seed, so she's holding me in hopeless need. Going, she's devoted, please, knowingly goading me into open knees. Tomorrow screams she's over me, going overseas, fleeing to another man to see the ovaries. Photonese, guess in some ways it's pure poetry, being sentenced for the crimes of the older me. So amen to making amends, and always being on the fence, censored from a semblance of sense. Never hold it down, or only just be friends. Amused by my pretense, she honed in on this balance scent like she owned a seventh sense. Go on the offense, seducing me again. Throw her on the bed, cause the sex is so intense. The smell of her skin lotion, her smile joking. Divine like the sight of her unclothing. Bruv sitting broken, the memory of her flying back to Poland. Leaving an MC in need of love in streets and pubs. Mostly dosing on the cheapest drugs. Guess I'm just the king of pop, searching for the queen of clubs. The queen of clubs, the queen of clubs, the queen of clubs. In any case, dude, the one that easily won the DC Fandome. I mean, this blew me away. Just like the Wonder Woman one blew me away, this blew me away, but for like slightly different reasons, and reasons I'm much more impressed with. Or I was as impressed with as the Patty Jenkins panel. First of all, the way this guy, Matt Reeves, is talking about this movie is so good. Right? He's in there. He's into the DC mythology. Yeah, he's a Batman fanboy. They need to find the director who feels about Batman, or who feels about Superman, the way that Patty Jenkins feels about Wonder Woman, and the way that Matt Reeves feels about Batman. They need to find that director to complete the Trinity. Because this, this would have been the most epic, flawless, 10 out of 10, fuck the MCU live event if they had have dropped a Superman movie, like, and a director, and attached somebody to it. Because again, you need someone who feels about Superman the way that these guys feel about Batman and Wonder Woman. And this trailer, like the way he was speaking about the detective noir and how he wanted to do Gotham as a character, it's like he's taking all the best aspects of the Tim Burton movies and taking all the best aspects of the Nolan movies, because the Nolan movies, Batman Begins had Gotham as a character, but the second one was like, oh, Nolan is just trying to be hyper-realistic, and by the third one, he'd lost all sense of what the Batman character really is, right? He'd got so lost in this realism kind of aspect to the Batman that he'd forgotten about, like, hey, let's ground this but still make it a Batman movie. That's what was so clever about Batman Begins, and what was clever to a certain degree about The Dark Knight. I think the Batman Begins was the superior Batman movie, whereas The Dark Knight was the superior, like, just if you just love films, right? But it was, doing things that I think Batman wouldn't necessarily do, and whatever. But it was fantastic all the way through. Nolan did a great job, even in the third movie. But what I love about this one is that Matt Reeves is talking about how he's trying to develop Gotham as a character, and I can see Gotham is a character in this. It's like taking the best bits of Burton, taking the best bits of Fincher kind of vibe on top of this, and I've loved Matt Reeves movies. I've not seen any of the Ape movies, but I've obviously seen Cloverfield, and I've seen the vampire movie that he did, which was fantastic, which was based on the Swedish vampire movie, Let Me In, which was excellent, and I was so excited for him to do the Batman. I knew he'd take it seriously. And first things first, what does he give us? He gives us a take Riddler that is going to elevate Riddler to that next level, which he should have been at already. Look at this shit. Him, the tape, look at this Fincher-like Zodiac, almost Fight Club-esque, Seven style cinematography here, man. Absolutely loving it. And then you've got everyone in, like, and this is one of the things that I think elevates this movie above the Wonder Woman trailer. Casting in this movie. You know, you've got your Gordon. And this is the one criticism I'll have about Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman. The time hopping doesn't allow you to attract the kind of talent that should be in these movies. Because when you make a franchise movie, I think Wonder Woman, as much as I love the Wonder Woman movie, should have been set in the present. It should have always been set in the present so that you could keep a cast of characters that are, you know, in the Wonder Woman mythos, and cast some real name actors in it. As far as the Wonder Woman movie is concerned, it has 4 stars, and 4 movie stars, right? And it should have a lot more considering the success of Wonder Woman. It should be a lot more actors that would, you know, like big name stars or exciting young actors that are in this movie. You know, but this is firing on all cylinders with the casting here. You've got Jeffrey Wright coming in, like, doing an epic job as Gordon. Look at that. Fantastic. As Gordon. It's like Commissioner Gordon in a freaking David Fincher movie. And then you've got Paul Dano as the Riddler. Just, it seems like he's chewing the scenery. Like he's like a Zodiac killer, kind of like some Zodiac serial maniac. And I love it. Absolutely love it. This is what the Riddler always should have been. The Moriarty to Batman's detective Sherlock Holmes. And that's what he's feeding into here. And I fucking love it. Look at this, to the Batman. And look at how Battison looks in this bloody suit. Here. Comes in heavy. And I always advocated, I was always arguing. I'm going to make a prediction now, right? I love the performances I most love of Batman. Alright, I'm going to tell you, like, straight up. So, Michael Keaton is one of the best Batmans, right? And the reason he's the best Batman is because of how he played off his villains. And he's the only Batman who could get away with smiling and still looking intimidating. He was fantastic. Loved his Bruce Wayne, which was a bit like of a quirky, weird kind of Burton-esque, kind of strange you know, like, how would you put it? Like not an extroverted, but like a weird, strange kind of Burton-esque character, right? Like that he plays, and like the whole Christmas vibes of those movies were great. So he was a really, really good adaptation of the Batman, and I can't wait to see him in the Flashpoint movie come back. So I like that version, but I really think the best performance up until now of the Batman was definitely Batman Begins. I think what Christian Bale did as Bruce Wayne Batman. First of all, the take on Batman was great because it was like a meta-analysis of what Batman means to us. So, what do you mean? And what is it? He says to Ra's al Ghul, and what is that? What will I become if I stop, like scrambling around trying to fight criminals one by one? And he goes, a legend, Mr. Wayne. And it was like, it gave you tingles because you knew that in our world, that's what Batman is. Batman's a legend, basically. And then, on top of that, I think I've always shown this one scene that I think from Batman Begins, I'll even show it now, that I've always thought was just quintessential Batman. Quintessential Batman, scene that made me feel like his performance was the greatest. This performance was the greatest performance. When he throws everyone out in the birthday scene in Batman Begins, right? So he throws everyone out of the party in Batman Begins. I just thought the acting was exquisite from Christian Bale. This is one of the best scenes. So the best scene of Bruce Wayne in the Michael Keaton is like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. That's when I believed, I believed Michael Keaton as Batman, and I believed his Bruce Wayne. Like he was this crazy guy who would run around in a bat suit and do all this. This is when I was believing in his Bruce Wayne even before, like the whole origin of his Bruce Wayne. I loved that, where he was a flawed character and he was learning to become a better person through, his girlfriend Rachel Dawes. And I actually really like K.E. Holmes' performance in Batman. And look at this. I love this is when Nolan was actually trying to make Gotham a character. In Batman Begins, he made it actually a character, right? Like, and then he lost that completely in The Dark Knight. I don't know why, because his Gotham looked sick. It was, up until then, when I saw this version of Gotham, it was my favorite Gotham. I liked it more than the Tim Burton. But afterwards, Tim Burton's Gotham was elevated again because The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises didn't continue that. It made it like much more realistic than comic booky, and I love the comic booky realism of this in Batman Begins. But anyway, here we go. He's at the party. Ra's al Ghul comes up to him, and he realizes this is Ra's al Ghul for the first time. Great performance by Liam Neeson as well. He was a fantastic villain, and I loved Scarecrow as well. The only problem with Batman Begins was that Scarecrow didn't become like a main villain like that Batman had to defeat. I thought that was kind of a bit whack. He should have taken on Scarecrow. But all of this stuff, this is beautiful. I was like, oh my god, it's Patrick Bateman. He's Patrick Batemaning, Batman Begins, and he just, tells everyone to get out of his birthday. I'm not joking. This is for real. All you sycophants, fantastic scene. Just blew me away. What great acting. So this was what I thought up until now was the best Batman performance. A lot of people like to say it's Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck's an easy third. I like his James Bond take on Bruce Wayne, but I think the writing let him down, and I just don't think he's that great an actor, Ben Affleck. He did what I expected him to do, which was be quite good, but he's still Ben Affleck, right? Even though his James Bond take was good, his fight scenes were definitely the best. There's no doubt about that. The fight scenes that Ben Affleck did and Zack Snyder produced of Ben Affleck's Batman were definitely the best. But apart from that, I thought he was really, really good. But to talk about him in terms of, it's just that there's Michael a more charismatic actor. He's a more charismatic person than Ben Affleck. Like, he's a cooler guy than Ben Affleck. So Michael Keaton often acts in a similar way, even though he's a fantastic actor. Kind of like that Michael Keaton kind of, Jack Nicholson, like that kind of actor where they're really good at bringing themselves into each role, but it's definitely Michael Keaton. He doesn't disappear, right? But Michael Keaton's so cool that him as Batman just works with those dark eyes, and when he's just waiting in the darkness and waiting for the bat signal to go off, like he doesn't have a life apart from being Batman. Loved it. And then, same thing with Christian Bale. He's just got that darkness in him, that dark face about him, after seeing American Psycho. It's just like I was ready for him to be Batman. And, that whole Batman Begins, he knocks it apart. Then, I don't know, somebody gave him some wrong directions in The Dark Knight. He starts doing that stupid voice. His Bruce Wayne was still epic, but his Batman lost something from that voice he did. And then, obviously, but still, I still think Batman Begins is the best performance. Then we've got, as I said, Ben Affleck. I'm making a prediction now. Robert Pattinson's going to be the best Batman. And this is going to be better than The Dark Knight. This film is going to be better than The Dark Knight. I'm predicting it now. If everything goes well and they're able to complete and finish and shoot this movie, I'm going to like this better than The Dark Knight. And Paul Dano is going to make the Riddler a household name. Everyone is going to love the Riddler. The Riddler and the Joker are going to be being on the same level, right? Like, people are going to start seeing, hey, we talk about Batman having the greatest villains, but do we actually use them properly? Because look at this shit, man. Just the creepy writing that he has on that Paul Dano, like, look at this Batman suit, love it. Like, really bargain basement, gritty, grimy, like he made it himself. And I want a Superman in this world. I want a year 2 Superman or year 1 Superman in this world. Look at this. What does it say up here? What does liar when dead? Haven't a clue. Let's play a game, just me and you. And then he's got some scientific shit there. Like at the bottom, like he's some fucking genius doing... This is exactly what I wanted him to do. Like some Mensa level, like, twisted, symbols that he's using as riddles. Like only like somebody who's super intelligent like Batman can even figure it out. And then, yeah, so this is fucking sick. Love that. Now, I'll tell you one thing. There was 2 castings that I was worried about in this movie. One less so. I just thought that, it could have been cast better. But that is the casting of Penguin, who I'm forgetting his name at the moment. Colin Farrell as the Penguin, right? Was worried about that. But I'll get onto him later. And then I was worried about Catwoman, and I'll talk about her when she comes up. Let's go through the rest of this. I was never worried about Robert Pattinson, not for a freaking second. And there's so many great stars in this movie, which makes it above Wonder Woman, that only have 4 stars. 4 movie stars. This one has so many good... Look, love this scene. Look at this Riddler, he's fucking setting traps. Look at this Riddler, he's setting all these traps and playing a game with you, but I love it. I love Paul Dano's voice. I hope he's not just in the shadows and, you actually get to see. But look at this. Look at this Catwoman. People are complaining about this Catwoman suit is brilliant for this world. Like, this is exactly the kind of Catwoman I would expect in this world. Just like the Catwoman in Nolan's world fit. and the Catwoman in Burton's world fit. This Catwoman fits. Love the fact that it's just like some... and look at this. Absolutely unrecognizable. And he's Penguin. This is Colin Farrell as Penguin. I'm sold on Colin Farrell as Penguin now. The guy is such a good actor. I just don't... He's a great actor that makes sometimes weird choices in how he decides to act. But I think that this one, he's such a good character actor, can do so many different voices. I think he's going to be excellent. He just looks so... Like, there's something... He's not, like, pure evil. Like, there's something vulnerable and whatever about him. And, like, he's going to be taken over to a dark side that he didn't want to be in at first. So, love that. Battison is just looking epic in the bat suit. Look at him fighting off the police in the... And then this. And look at Catwoman fucking giving Batman the business here. Doing some capoeira shit. And look at that mask, man. I just love that. That is such an interesting take on Catwoman. And I think the Court of Owls are being introduced slowly through the Riddler in this, which is something that I absolutely love about this trailer as well. So let's look at this. Paul Dino, Riddler, fucking taking on the Batman, like showing him the business as well. Look at this Riddler. Every version of these Batman characters fit exactly into the world that has been that Matt Reeves is establishing, and that's what I love. When a director, and this is what they should do with Superman and Wonder Woman, and I hope that the next director of Wonder Woman takes a different. I hope the next movie succeeds, and and the third movie succeeds, and Patty Jenkins bows out gracefully, and next director to continue a new franchise. Recast everything, do it in modern day, and so that she can have her own take on all of the characters that have been established in the Wonder Woman mythos through Patty Jenkins. But this is what I love, when someone takes Superman's Crystal Planet and they take the villains like Lex Luthor and they put their own spin on it. Rather than trying to create a different character and then call them Lex Luthor. Invent a world, your version of Gotham, or your version of Metropolis, or your version of Wonder Woman's world, which would be Gateway City, actually, but they haven't put that in the movies. That's her city. Invent your version of those cities, and then think, okay, so what Batman would fit in this particular, is this a fantastical world where there's technology that we don't have in the real world, or is this a more grounded world? Is this in the 90s, or is this in, the 2000s, or is this right now? And then once you've established what that world is, then you create your Batman to fit the world. You create your Riddler to fit that world. You create your Joker to fit that world. And that's what this is. That's what Nolan did, Burton did, and that's what Matt Reeves is doing. And he's doing it fantastically. This Riddler looks epic. I love it. He's in green, but they've taken just a different spin on what the Riddler costume would be. But all the trappings of who the Riddler is still there, and the voice. And then there's this scene where Batman just decides... Batman decides he's gonna choke a bitch. This is fucking sick. This is Battison. You've done it, bruh. I know he's going to be the best Batman now. Bang, bang, bang. Mike Tyson knockout. Gets up. I'm vengeance. It's beautiful. Batmobile. This is the Batmobile that fits this world. Motherfuckers this motherfucker's crazy. Is that... Oh shit, that was Penguin saying he's crazy. Yeah, it's Penguin saying he's crazy. So Penguin's saying this motherfucker's crazy, Batman. Loved it. Loved it. After 3 months of shooting, for Matt Reeves to give us this, you know, in the middle of the coronavirus, after 3 months of shooting, dude, this movie is going to be off the hizzy, man. I think this is going to be one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. I think Wonder Woman 84, hopefully, if it isn't too cheesy, might be up there as well, as one of the greatest solo movies. But I think it'll be one of the greatest comic book movies. I am completely sold. I was completely sold on Battison. I now think, wow, this guy knows, he's firing on all cylinders so much that even the casting which I was worried about, which was Colin Farrell, and I was worried about Catwoman's casting as well, which was, because I've never been impressed by this actress. I've seen her in many different things. I saw her in this recent TV series as well, where she was playing, I can't remember who, so it was this TV series, like this, about these single mothers and stuff. I'm trying to remember what this name's, Zoe Kravitz, right? So that's the actress's name. And I've seen her in the X-Men movie. She never really impressed me, but I feel like she's going to be epic in this movie. I like this Catwoman. Dude, she might even rival Michelle Pfeiffer. Because I think Matt Reeves is just firing on so many cylinders right now that Michelle Pfeiffer, you know, there's not often I always say that there's different interpretations. And if you get the right interpretation, you know, Anne Hathaway did Catwoman really good, but she was nowhere near what, you know, Michelle Pfeiffer managed to achieve as Catwoman, right? She was good, but nowhere near what Michelle Pfeiffer managed to achieve. I think in the right movie, you know, she could have been good, but no. But this one, right, this Catwoman just looks so right for this particular world that, and because I trust Matt Reeves, the way he's talking about this movie, I'd like to do a shot by shot and just listen to the way Matt Reeves talks about movies and listen to the way Zack Snyder talks about movies. And it's just a world of difference. This guy gets it. This guy gets it. Patty Jenkins gets it. You know, those above all of them, even above the Aquaman director, above, you know, even the Shazam director, who I like, he was very good. But Patty Jenkins gets DC Comics. She gets what these characters are about. They are gods. They are mythic beings, including Batman. I know he's human, but he's a myth. He's mythic. He's not Iron Man. He's not like, you know, there to sell you toys. You know, like the Avengers. These characters mean something. They're symbols of something. Batman's like a symbol of justice and vengeance. Wonder Woman's like a symbol of peace, right? These are great epic symbols. Superman's a symbol of hope. They mean more. And this is what this film does. This shows me a guy who understands the mythic elements of Batman. The music choice was excellent. I am sold on this movie. I'll be surprised if this movie doesn't make $2 billion. And then this little bookend at the end where you see Battison take off. I love the way he's got the black around the eyes. I knew Battison was going to nail it. People can talk about, you know, Twilight all they want. As soon as I saw Good Times, I was like, this guy is a serious actor. And what I like about this casting is they cast him as Batman. They didn't cast him as one of the villains. I wouldn't have liked if they had cast him as one of the villains. Because he, as much as a good actor as he is, he's not so charismatic that I want him as one of the villains. He's charismatic enough to play Batman. And like he's sarcastic and dark and emo enough to play Batman. So I like that casting. I would have hated if he was cast as a Joker or a Riddler or something. They cast the right people in the right role. This guy, and then they cast the better actors to act around him. Like Paul Dano is a better actor than Battison. You know, Jeffrey Wright is a better actor than Battison, right? So they cast the right people to go around him. And then there's the Court of Owls angle, where, you know, this is a series that it seems like it's building up to something, what I do want to see from this series, I can't. The third movie has to be Joaquin Phoenix versus this Batman. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, it will cheapen the Joker. Da, 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 da. I don't even care if they just say that this Joker is just a Joker from an alternate, like that Joker in the movie that was done, the Joker movie, basically, that Joker was basically these two worlds are separate, and Joaquin Phoenix just comes in as a Joker in the third movie in this universe, but he's a slightly alternate version of the Joker that he was in the Joker movie. That performance of Joaquin Phoenix was so excellent, and we only just skimmed the surface of what he could do as the Joker, and he is his Joker fits in this world. The world that Matt Reeves has created, that Joker fits slap bang in the middle of this fucking world. And I want to see it. I want to see him deal with the Court of Owls in the second movie. Third movie, let's go Joker, baby. Let's go Joker. Let's go Joker. Joaquin Phoenix versus this motherfucker. I want to see it, bro. I want to see it. So, that's it. This was my number one pick. It was absolutely sick. And I think most people, even the Snyder fans, can't deny it. Even the haters, let's bring Ben Affleck. All those guys can shut the fuck up now. Yeah? No, let's not bring Ben Affleck. Let him stay in his Snyderverse world or whatever that's going to disappear, and let Battison take over. And the one thing I don't like is DC suggesting that this Batman should not fit into the greater universe. I don't care. Get Battison. As I said, if you need to, say that this is an alternative world, but that Battison is Batman in that universe as well. Like, it's just an alternate version of Batman that fits in better with the Justice League. I don't care. If you're doing a multiverse, let there be a multiverse where there's two Battison Batmans. One that's occupying this more realistic world, so Matt Reeves doesn't have to deal with all the Justice League stuff. But make Battison the Batman in that world. Or, alternatively, cast a young Superman. A Superman who's just an intern. They've just done this really, really great movie. I just saw it today. Of Superman, Man of Tomorrow. And I just think they should make this a live action movie, like a version of this, a little bit like this is perfect with a good score and everything. But make this, and just tighten up the script a bit, because the script's a bit like, it could be better, could be a little bit more epic. Fuck it. Cast the guy who does the voice for Superman in Superman Man of Tomorrow in Battison's world, right? And make it so Superman and Batman exist in that world, so you can do like something between them. Eventually, when Patty Jenkins finishes with Wonder Woman, get a Wonder Woman in that world. Like a more down-to-earth versions of these characters, because that's what this Superman is. He's a much less powerful version of Superman than in, than Cavill's version. Something that you could see that this Batman could have a conflict with, and, using his smarts could have his way with this Superman. This Superman is not as OP as the Superman in, as Cavill's Superman. And just do this in live action, dude. And have that in the Battison world. And Metropolis, don't make Metropolis right next to Gotham or anything like that. And then get Wonder Woman in there and do a Trinity movie. Then you can do a crossover multiverse movie where the Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman from that world meet the Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman from, let's call it, I'll call it the Jenkins verse, because Patty Jenkins is ruling that universe. Yeah, so just do it like that, so they can meet each other in future, because that Batman needs to, you need that Robert Pattinson Batman as the Batman in the Justice League, man. That is what I want to see. Just don't make Superman so fucking... There's no need. That isn't the essence of the core of the character. Superman doesn't need to be that OP. Make a more realistic version of Superman. That's it. Yep, yeah, most shit can't hurt him, but some shit can hurt him. Like, if he's faced against a superpowered guy, or, you know, somebody comes up with some experimental red sun bullshit ray or something, or room or whatever, and can trap him, you know, that his, you know, when he gets hurt, he doesn't just, like, instantly regenerate from the sun. Like, it takes him a while, maybe 2-3 years for him to get to full power again. Something like that, right? So he can fit into a Battison world a little bit more, and, you know, get a Wonder Woman, do a similar thing like that. She's a warrior, she's trained, she can fly, she can do all of this kind of stuff. She's got super strength, but she isn't, like, super fucking OP. So she fits into the Battison world. And then do a Trinity movie with these guys, because I'm telling you, this is what you should have been doing. This is what you should have been doing. You can do this with Superman, DC. And if you do this with Superman, you get them all in a world where they're more mythic. You know, it doesn't mean make Superman dark. Make him mythic. Because that's what he is. He's a mythic character. Wonder Woman's a mythic character. Batman's a mythic character. Make them all mythic and get them in the same world. And MCU is nothing. It is nothing compared to this. I loved the whole presentation. Well done to whoever put this presentation together. All of the panels were interesting. My recommendations, if you didn't see the panels, I'd say definitely check out the Shazam panel. The women of color panel, I thought that was quite nice. The Wonder Woman panel was excellent. All of the panels to do with Wonder Woman were cool. I loved to see Patty Jenkins talk to different people. The Batman panels were you know, I didn't like there was a couple I didn't like. I think they went a bit overboard with the Batman stuff. But essentially, that Batman Matt Reeves panel, when he's talking about the Batman, that is a must-see. That was my favorite bit of the whole thing, because he blew it out of the park with his understanding of what the Batman is and what he means. Anyway, that's my discussion. Guys, I love you 3000. I'm outie, and see you on the next stream. Thanks very much.